We are all aware of how much money professional athletes make. Some of these athletes get paid so much for their talent that it seems impossible for them to ever spend it all in one lifetime. The reality is that professional athletes winding up down and out and in a financial mess is a real problem, despite the fact that it may appear like the way it is to us ordinary people. In reality, a significant portion of professional athletes are unable to control their spending and end up spending themselves right into bankruptcy courts. In this video, we will be talking about athletes who went broke. But before that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more amazing content. Now, let's get started. Number 10. Vince Young. Vince Young should have been living the easy life as a former star quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, but that was not to be. Young was in court declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy just 7 years after joining the professional NFL squad. Young's former financial advisor, Ronnie Peoples, alleged that Young spent his money more quickly than he earned it. He signed one of the highest-paying rookie contracts, a $26 million deal with the Titans, and according to Peoples, he carelessly spent his money. He had no way to pay for the incredibly expensive stuff he would buy, such as a $176,000 Ferrari. According to his bankruptcy filing, he and his wife had assets valued between $500,000 and $1 million, but liabilities between $1 million and $10 million. Since 2011, he has not been a member of the National Football League. Number 9. Mike Tyson. One of the most famous names in boxing is Mike Tyson. He has boxed for a living and earned numerous championships. His career was marred by a variety of problems, including struggles with alcohol and drugs. 5 children were born to him during his engagements with various ladies. In addition to his passion for boxing, Tyson also loved to spend money carelessly. As a result, he struck rock bottom financially and even declared himself penniless in 2003, meaning he had no money in the bank. On the other hand, Tyson claimed that he was absolutely content, despite not having any money. He claimed he was blissfully married to Lakia Spicer, a woman he didn't deserve, that he had 4 other children with other women, all of whom he loved, and that he was just grateful to have been given another opportunity at life. Number 8. Mark Brunell. While playing with the NY Jets in the NFL, Mark Brunell earned nearly $50 million. In the end, Brunell had a balance of $5 million and a debt of about $25 million. It is stated that Brunell made some poor business decisions and had a lot of terrible luck with his real estate investments. 5 out of the 9 Whataburger franchise restaurants that he purchased failed. The main cause of his financial collapse was his poor investment performance. Number 7. Deuce McAllister. Deuce McAllister, who played for the Saints, had a bright NFL future. During his time as the team's running back, McAllister earned tens of millions of dollars. However, like many other professional athletes, he made some poor investment decisions that lost him millions of dollars and rendered him bankrupt. The St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office took possession of the house when he was living in it and sold it at auction. Whitney National Bank, the bank that owned his mortgage, also filed a lawsuit against him on the grounds that he owed them $1.8 million. When he declared bankruptcy, he also lost control of his Nissan business in Jackson, Mississippi. He was in a precarious financial condition and was struggling to make ends meet. Number 6. Lawrence Taylor. Up until he got himself into a ton of financial difficulty, Lawrence Taylor's NFL career was going well. It was well known that he struggled with drug addiction and spent a lot of money buying and sniffing drugs. He was also a very big spender, wasting money on a variety of items he couldn't afford. Taylor allegedly paid $300 to an underage prostitute while also being sued for child support and in serious problems with the IRS for filing a fake tax return. According to reports throughout his journey, Taylor pretty much earned the right to be impoverished. Number 5. Dorothy Hamill. Ice skating and a young woman by the name of Dorothy Hamill enjoyed great popularity in the 1970s. Dorothy participated in the Olympics in 1978 and won the gold medal. One of the most recognizable skaters in the history of the sport, she later accepted a position with the renowned Ice Capades in the 1980s. Sadly, despite all the money Hamill made from her career, endorsements, and other endeavors, in 1991, she was declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy and was in a desperate financial situation. She had invested a lot of money in several businesses, and she later spent more on legal fees to get custody of her daughter, on fighting depression, and on medical expenses after learning she had breast cancer. Number 4. Sheryl Swoopes. Sheryl Swoopes earned an estimated $50 million in total throughout her professional tenure with the WNBA. NBA players have one of the worst difficulties with spending too much money, and they are a sport where many of their players end up having to declare bankruptcy. Swoopes was one of the most prominent figures who represented the WNBA, although her enormous wealth did not last her entire life. She alleges to have had poor representation, to have made poor investment decisions, and to have contributed to her financial loss. Swoopes ultimately had to sell her Naismith Trophy and Olympic medals in order to pay off her debts, which also included a $250,000 tax bill. Number 3. Dennis Rodman. Former NBA player who is most known for his time with the Chicago Bulls, but also had brief spells with several other clubs. In addition to being one of the NBA players who were most flashy and distracting, he is also regarded as one of the players who went bankrupt. He went to court to file documents stating that he was unwell and broke, and so unable to make his overdue child support or spousal support payments. He owed enormous amounts of back child support, $800,000, and spousal support, $50,000. Rodman had a tremendous amount of riches between his NBA contracts and the many other endeavors he undertook, including TV shows, advertisements, sponsorships, and movies, even if he didn't make as much money as some NBA players may have in their careers. Number 2. Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp, one of the NFL's most well-known players, has one of the most enduring bankruptcy tales. Sapp was forced to sell up all of his possessions, which were numerous. When Sapp filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy at the end of his NFL career, he had $82,185,056 in his bank account, just like many other people in the real world. All of his costly taste possessions were up for sale at his $4.1 million home. It was difficult to understand how someone who was so well known and successful could end up with so little. That is, until you notice his massive, pricey collection of tennis shoes, lion skin rug, and other luxury objects dotted about his house. He had obviously more upscale tastes than he could afford. Number 1. Evander Holyfield. One of the most accomplished professional boxers in the sport's history is Evander Holyfield. He has won numerous championships and had a very prosperous career. During his career, he made millions upon millions of dollars, but he soon started to experience some financial problems, which began with concerns about child support and led to a serious downhill spiral for the fighter. His multi-million-dollar mansion, which sold for $7.5 million, was forced to be sold. This hardly scratched the surface of what he owed, since he owed the bank more than twice that amount and had more than $200,000 in unpaid taxes. The world observed him as he struggled through his financial crisis and was compelled to liquidate all of his material goods in an effort to try alleviate his dire debt problem once his financial status became public. Holyfield is one of the best professional athletes who left the game absolutely broke and penniless. That's it, guys. When it comes to how they lost their money, professional sportsmen who run into financial difficulties have a few elements in common, such as a limited earning window, a lack of financial literacy, and overspending. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Leave a like, share with your friends and families, and jot down your thoughts in the comment section below.